afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for the Operations and Platform Engineering Spotlight session. Are you ready to have some fun? Yeah. Yes! I'm Chen Goldberg, and I'm the VP and GM of Containers and Kubernetes, and I'm super excited to be here today. We're going to dive into a range of topics, from building AI applications and platform to equipping engineers with AI tools. Plus, we will share with you how you can optimize security and cost control across your environments, both AI and traditional workloads. But before I start, I want to take a moment to celebrate a major milestone for Kubernetes. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the very first commit to the open source project. And I guess this screenshot that we're going to see here is probably the first photograph of Kubernetes. Pretty photogenic, I think. And and that first commit that was happening in June 6, 2014, has grown just a bit to over 314,000 code commits by over 74,000 contributors in the last decade. And what started as a project by a few folks from Google, inspired by our internal system Borg, now counts more than 7,800 companies having a part in the contribution. The evolution of Kubernetes has been nothing but extraordinary. From the beginning, our North Star was to enable innovation, making sure the platform isn't an obstacle or triggers a migration down the road. One way we did that is by making Kubernetes the right solution for both stateless and stateful application. Another is by investing in portability, so it can work across different environments, so you can use the same platform and tools wherever you need. And now, we are supporting the explosive world of AI. The incredible journey is a testament to the brilliant community behind it, the contributors and the builders. So let's give ourselves a huge round of applause. And this is where really the new fun begins. So how do we design platforms that are capable of handling not only traditional workloads and enterprise and modern workloads, but also the demand of AI? In fact, every company I talk to is urgently seeking ways to stand out with AI, opening up amazing opportunities for engineering teams to create game-changing AI-powered applications and really lead this way in this exciting field. Our survey of 500+ decision makers highlights a key challenge. 90% of you see supporting AI workloads as a top priority. Yet, these new demands must be balanced with existing duties and ongoing challenges in velocity, security, and hiring the right talent. We start from a great place. AI is yet another modern workload, and the investments we have made in containers and developer experience benefit them as well. But AI workloads also introduce some unique challenges. Scalability is usually the first one that comes up. Many of today's systems were designed with specific scalability in mind. Previous assumptions, no matter if you are a large model builder or looking to tune a small model for your specific business needs, have changed significantly. Another constant challenge is balancing cost and performance. AI's inherent fluidity, such as shifting model sizes and evolving hardware needs, is changing how teams think about the cost and performance of both training and serving. Companies need to plan and measure at granular level, tracking the cost per token instead of cost per VM. Teams that are able to do that and speak this new language are leading the market. On top of that, AI has really a complex tech stack with ever-evolving libraries, frameworks, and tools, and it can really have a steep learning curve. Keeping pace with this constant stream of change while optimizing for time to market is really hard. Finally, every enterprise needs the confidence that AI-powered apps can run safely and easily at scale. For platform teams, this means a relentless battle. Spotting threats with precision, resolving issues swiftly, and adapting to constantly evolving compliance requirements. So you're probably asking, so where does AI fit? Typically, when new technologies are introduced, it requires a new platform. Take the move from physical to virtual machines, then from VMs to containers. However, similar to Kubernetes, North Star, our container management platform design principle has always been to support all of you, our builders, our developers, today and in the future. We can now support AI applications being another modern workload on the platform along other modern workloads. And this is why, this time, you don't need to spin off a big migration or integration project. With our container management platform, you can accelerate your AI journey without reinventing the wheel and building a new platform. Our container management platform includes both GKE and Cloud Run. It is built from the ground up with flexibility, optionality, security, and cost optimizations. This way, the needs of every company, from the AI unicorn to the traditional enterprise, are met. Where you are dictates where you start, but no choice is a one-way door. Sometimes, especially when you're just at the beginning, you prefer to optimize to time to building the application and not worrying about the infrastructure. So if you're looking for the easiest way to build applications, point your developers to Cloud Run for optimized productivity. And if you're not an expert in containers, don't worry. With Cloud Run, we created a range of open source build packs that allows you to take source code and turn it into a container so developers can just program in their language of choice. Of course, you can also deploy your existing containers directly to Cloud Run, which automates server management, including scaling up and down as needed. And you wouldn't believe it. Today, we are making things even easier. I'm excited to announce Cloud Run Application Canvas, a Gemini-assisted experience to generate, modify, and deploy Cloud Run applications. Simply describe what you want to build in natural language, and the application will be generated for you. The canvas also builds out integration to various Google Cloud services, including Firebase hosting, Vertex AI, memory store, and more. And it's really saving you time and effort. So we would like to keep things real. Let's invite Bobby from our product team for the first demo and see how easy it is. Woo!
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here today. So, Hen, if I was following backstage, I think you talked about containers, serverless, and AI so far. And I think it's about time to do a demo that combines all three of those things. What do you all think?
Woo!
Excellent, excellent. Love the enthusiasm. So what would be really cool is if we could use AI to build an AI application. Who'd want to see that? And since we want to show you that this is all like really, really working, we should probably do it live. What do you think? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So the first thing we're going to show you is the Google Cloud Console for those who haven't seen this before. So this is kind of your home base when you want to start building or optimizing your workloads that are in our platform. And we're going to start off in Cloud Run. And we're going to go to this Manage Application button to bring up the application canvas that Hen talked about already. Now, the cool thing is Google has lots of great products that let you build amazing applications. But sometimes getting all of these things to work together correctly can be a little bit challenging. So the application canvas gives you a visual way to create an application in two different ways. One, you can use natural language to describe what you want. And behind the scenes, that intent is translated into potential architecture by Gemini. So we might say something like this, for example. I want a Gen AI application with a SQL database deployed behind example.com. And so Gemini is going to take this intent and turn this into the building blocks to build a real-world application that looks something like this. So my application components are launched because Gemini took what I wanted to do and just built it. Now, I can also interact with Gemini to add other things like a caching layer, for example, to reduce latency. And so let's actually add that in. Let's add this other component. And because it knows that I'm doing the same application, it just works. It just goes together. Isn't this cool? And so here's my caching layer down here at deploy to Redis cache. Now, for those of you who want to touch a UI, we also have this clickable interface where I can look at the different integration points that I might want to deploy, including things like Vertex AI to tap into Gemini. In this case, I want to add a NoSQL database. And so that component is deployed to my application canvas. And in a few clicks, I can add this integration to connect my Cloud Run service to this NoSQL database. And now I've got an architecture that looks something like this. Pretty cool, right?
Woo.
Excellent. It's dope. It's dope. Now, I know what you're thinking. So, Bobby, this is never going to deploy in minutes, right? Because this is something that you can actually do literally in like 5 minutes. This is never going to be this easy because APIs, account enablement, all the access stuff, like that takes time, right? And so the thing that's cool about the application canvas is when I hit this button, it automatically does an audit of all the APIs that need to be enabled and all the role permissions that need to be granted. I literally have Gemini looking over my shoulder to see all the things that need to work together to just make it work. It's pretty cool, right?
Yes. Bobby, quick question. Is that like a one-time thing or like it goes as you evolve and build the application?
Great question, Hen. This is not a one-time thing. So I can add components, take them away, deploy a full application, roll things back. Like I can have an iterative conversation just like Hen and I are doing right now and build exactly what I want, tweak it, and redeploy it. Super cool. So we got to do the cook and show thing. So I've showed you the ingredients. I need to show you the finished dish without showing the time in the oven. So let's speed ahead to the finished deployed application architecture. So these checkboxes tell me that all of these components are actually live and working. And to prove it, we're going to bring up a working application that we deploy to our Cloud Run service. So we built a simple Python application kind of offline. And what we're going to do now is bring up the front end for that. That looks something like this. So we've built an application in Cloud Run, deployed to the Cloud Run. It's going to talk to Gemini. And what we're going to do is bring up pictures of some of the creative folks who've pushed us in the past to achieve more in the future. And so one of my personal favorites is Katherine Johnson. And so what's going to happen is when I click on this picture, it's going to send that image to Gemini. And those who don't know that Katherine Johnson is one of the famous NASA scientists from the movie Hidden Figures, Gemini will tell us who this is. And so with tools a lot less sophisticated than what we have today, she was part of the team of women at NASA that took a man to the moon and brought him back safely. And so the cool thing about this is with Cloud Run Application Canvas, we can build things like this, push our code, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So as we go back to the application canvas one last time, I want you to think about the application canvas as another tool in your tool belt when you want to channel your inner Dr. Katherine Johnson, your inner innovator, and make what we thought was impossible tomorrow a reality today.
That's cool, Bobby. Thank you so much. Don't tell anyone. This is probably one of my favorite things we announced this week. So especially when you want to move fast and you don't want to worry about anything, Cloud Run is the right choice. Today, we're also announcing Cloud Run support for LangChain, which is a powerful open source framework for building an application. The founders of LangChain actually went ahead and did some benchmarking when they started building their own application and product, and they chose Cloud Run as their platform because the impact it had on their velocity. And now, Cloud Run is simply the easiest way to deploy your LangChain apps with incredible scalability and a developer-friendly experience. Now, if you're looking for more control and flexibility, GKE got you covered. GKE is fully manageable, but highly customizable. It has both the flexibility you need to make Kubernetes your own and to build your platform on ours. And you have everything that you need to make it enterprise-ready with the built-in control, Google-grade automation, and reliability. It is also available on Google Cloud, other clouds, or on-premises through Google Distributed Cloud. We have put years of our insights and sweat and best practices into Kubernetes and GKE. And their fundamental capabilities make them best suited for AI workloads. Kubernetes really fuels innovation with its extensive ecosystem of tools, while seamless infrastructure abstraction lets teams harness the latest technologies like GPUs, time sharing, and TPUs for maximum efficiency. Specifically, when you choose GKE for AI, you get industry-leading scale, unmatched price and performance, and ease of use. For training and inference AI workloads, it matters even more. And we have some new innovation to share with you today, making each of these benefits much more compelling. So let's start with scale. You know, what happens often as the size of the model grows, so are the capabilities. And we continue to push the limits of accelerator-optimized hardware to make GKE an ideal home for your large language models. Today, I'm excited to announce GKE support for Cloud TPU v5p is now GA. Cloud TPU v5p is our most powerful and scalable TPU accelerator to date. With TPU v5p, you can train your LLMs in weeks instead of months, with a 2.8 times improvement in training time over the previous version. Let's take the team in Flight Creeks as an example. They were able to achieve a remarkable 2.5 times speed up in training their text-to-image and text-to-video models compared to the previous version of TPU. Like them, Character AI was able to train their largest, most capable models with remarkable efficiency, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We are also announcing A3 Mega, which is powered by NVIDIA H100 GPUs and provides 2 times more networking bandwidth than A3, accelerating the time to train the largest AI models. A3 Mega will be generally available in the coming weeks. Training massive AI models often requires scaling far beyond a single TPU. This is why last year we announced multi-slice training for GKE, and it's now generally available. Thanks to multi-slice, you can chain together multiple TPU slices so that over 50,000 chips function together to train a single model, all powered by GKE's industry-leading support for 15,000 nodes in a single cluster. The same configuration has been used for what we believe is the world's largest distributed training job. While GPUs and TPUs are great for scale, as AI models grow, customers face challenges such as cost effectiveness and start times of massive container images. To help address both of these issues, GKE now supports custom container image preloading and model preloading. Sometimes, if you are worried it will take too long for you to start your application instance when you want to meet demand from your users, you might decide or opt to over-provision resources. But that can be costly. With container image preloading, it really accelerates workload cold starts, and it's improving GPU utilization and save money while keeping AI inference latency low. Container image preloading helped Vertex AI prediction service, which is built on GKE, pull large container images up to 29 times faster than their previous method. And yes, you heard me right. We at Google, we like to drink our own champagne, and GKE powers AI products like Vertex AI and the next generation of AI innovation with DeepMind. Fast container startup can help cut down costs. However, for AI workloads that have highly variable demand, such as low-volume inference or notebooks, a GPU may often sit idle much of the time. One way to overcome that is by making sure more workloads are on the same GPU. This is why GKE now supports with NVIDIA Multi-Process Service, MPS. MPS enables concurrent processing on a GPU, which can improve throughput for workloads with low resource usage, reducing your costs even further. Finally, to maximize the cost efficiency of AI accelerators like GPU and TPUs during model training, it's important to minimize the time an application is waiting to fetch data. To achieve that, GKE supports GCS Fuse read caching, which is now generally available as well. GCS Fuse read caching uses a local directory as a cache to accelerate repeat reads for small and random IOs, increasing GPU and TPU utilization by loading data faster. So we talked about GKE industry-leading scale and unmatched price performance. But can we make things easy? So when you run and scale AI workloads, GKE makes obtaining GPU for AI training workloads easy by using dynamic workload scheduler. Together with an open source project called Q, which is a Q with a K, you can automatically request resources that are optimal for your jobs. This makes sure you can take advantage of available TPU and GPU capacity. And for customers who want the most automated and simple Kubernetes experience, you should use GKE Autopilot, our fully managed mode of operation, which now supports NVIDIA H100 GPUs, TPUs, reservation, and also compute engine committed user discounts. It's not surprising that thanks to all of this innovation over the last year, the use of GPUs and TPUs on GKE has grown more than 900% last year. I think this is pretty amazing. And GKE is really loved by our customers and industry analysts alike. Leading AI innovators like Anthropic, Assembly AI, Salesforce, and Cohere, by the way, all of them speaking in this conference, telling about their experience on GKE, rely on GKE for its strength. And it also powers essential Google services like Vertex AI and DeepMind. And thanks to this strength, our container management platform was named a leader in both the Gartner 2023 Container Management Magic Quadrant and also recently Forrester AI Infrastructure Wave. What I love about it is that Gartner in particular recognized Google for having the most differentiated platform, the simplest experience, and for being a leading Kubernetes open source contributor. So, we talked a lot about how you can build and write AI application, but I'm sure you're all wondering, what can AI do for you? It's an important question. We're all getting busier, right? With Gemini Cloud Assist, we are embedding AI directly into our platform, helping you boost security, performance, and reliability. When it comes to our container management platform, Gemini Cloud Assist can help you optimize costs, troubleshoot faster, and even simplify design and deployment of application. This morning in the developer keynote, we saw how Cloud Assist can help us optimize cost. Maybe it's time to invite Bobby back on stage for another live demo and see how GKE is helpful.
Let's do it, Hen, another live demo. So I got an upgrade in the back, so watch this. Ooh. All right, so this is your tall. Let's raise up the monitor. So in this demo, we're going to show you a little bit different than what we showed you in the first one. So in the first demo, we used AI to create an AI workload. In this time, we're going to show you how AI-infused insights allow you to operate all the workloads in your platform even better. So we're back in the Google Cloud Console, and we'll notice when we go to the Google Kubernetes engine that we're going to get some insights that kind of jump out at us. All right? Now, the other upgrade I got in the back is they reminded me that this is a touch screen. You can't put a touch screen in front of a techie and not want to dig into that. So look at that, right? So what's cool about this is these insights are right here in our face to understand that there may be something we want to drill down into. And I want to look at insights around upgrades because I know you all are thinking, Bobby, my upgrades always go perfectly. I don't need this. Well, take this back to your colleagues and your coworkers in case they have something to go south. But just in case you want to take something back for them, there are times where we have upgrade insights because sometimes you know things are too good to be true and maybe there's something lingering behind the scenes that might bite you the next time something pops up in the middle of the night. And so I've got some upgrade insights about some things that could bite me later. So for example, I've got this cluster that may not be enrolled in a release channel, and I can click right on that and start to see some insights. So I've got explanations around this. I can see the specific cluster that's not enrolled in the release channel I can click on that and get more information around this, right? So insight that surfaced on the recommendation, deeper insight now, specific recommendation here that I can go deeper into. And I've got these little buttons here if I want to get more insight or information about these to go a little bit deeper if I want to.
And what I love about that this experience really both is very proactive, gives you the insight, but also creates a nice workflow into Gemini through the chat.
So to Hen's point, if I don't know all the prompts or all the questions that I would ask Gemini, I can click on buttons like this that actually open up a chat window, right? And that's what happened here. I'm taken back to my home page, and I get this particular question. What should I consider if I want to reduce the workload disruption risk from GKA upgrade schedules? And so Gemini takes that question and brings me back an answer, even if I don't know which question to ask. This is built right into the UI. You'll also notice that this is not generic advice. This is in the context of the resources I'm actually running in my account. I find this super cool. Maybe it's just because of the touchscreen. But I love this because this allows me to have very specific advice that's actionable, not things that may not be relevant for my resources. So this is so cool, I think we should go again. Let's do one more. So when it comes to the health of my resources, let's drill into that, because I want to make sure that there aren't things that I'm missing. So I could have things like clusters that are running in the default namespace, as we see in the first insight. I've got 2 clusters that are there. Let's find out which 2 we're talking about. It's POS cluster US3 and US2. I know exactly what the potential problem is, and I've got the ability, again, to launch Gemini with these pre-canned prompts to let me know exactly what I need to do. So if I want to understand, for example, consequences of deploying to the default namespace, I click on that, and so this question is loading. Gemini is processing this, and it's going to give me insight back about that particular query that I launched from the UI. And so here's an explanation, or the answers back to what I asked about. So the cool part is I don't have to be an expert in knowing the question to ask. I just need to know to ask Gemini and follow what Gemini is telling me on the screen. And so one more thing. Sometimes we're not troubleshooting. Sometimes we want proactive guidance on things. And so let's actually launch another window, because I want to know how to do things right from the beginning. So I might do something like this. Give me an example GKE Java application. It's always tough to type when a few hundred of your closest friends are looking on, right? Here we go. And we'll see if Gemini can recommend a prescriptive architecture that will give me a great place to start and maybe minimize some of the technical debt that I would have incurred if I wasn't paying attention. And so here it is. Gemini gives me an example starting point. We call these jumpstart solutions. If I want to deploy something like a Java Spring Dynamic Web App and it tells me all the products that are part of that solution, I can click it, I can deploy it, and I can go. And so I love this because Gemini Cloud Assist gives us resource-aware, AI-infused insights to save you time and help you be productive right from the beginning.
Thank you so much, Bobby. And maybe you can stick around. Maybe you can speak another demo.
Sounds good.
So this was really terrific, and just seeing how this will be the future of how we operate platforms. You showed us those best practices and actionable guidance, and it's really important for all of you to know that this is an area we are heavily investing in creating more and more examples and best practices. Okay, so we focused a lot on AI. Does anyone want to hear about something other than AI? Yeah. Okay. So while I know it is a top priority for many of you, I wanted to know that we are not stop investing in the most fundamental things of the platform. And we are still driving it forward. So today I want to highlight a couple of special launches that are important for our customers with security and compliance needs. The first one, GKE Threat Detection, which is now available in public preview. What it does, it identifies common control plane attacks by continuously analyzing for suspicious logs, and it is integrated with Security Command Center. Another thing is our GKE Compliance and Governance Dashboard, which is also available in preview. This fully managed compliance service automatically delivers end-to-end coverage from the cluster to the container, scanning for compliance against the most important benchmarks. And it provides you those near real-time insights that are always available in a centralized dashboard, and we produce compliance reports automatically for you. So maybe let's see it live.
Let's do one more live demo. So, and I find it funny that we're talking about security because clearly you and I like to take risks to do 3 live demos in the same spotlight session. And so we're back in the Cloud Console again, and I want to show you how to get to some of the things that Hen just talked about. So we're going to go to the Kubernetes engine dashboard, and what you're going to notice is that we have lots of different things that pop up visually for us, but specifically, we're going to drill down into this posture management section. So if I go into security, this is the first new feature that Hen talked about. This is our threat detection. So here we go. And so what you'll notice about this screen is that there's several different ways that we group our threats by concern, by type, by cluster, by workload. So the principle is dashboard, concern to drill down into that, and then kind of affected resources that we'll see in a second. So here, out of all the things that are on the dashboard, I want to drill down into threats because these are things that may sting me sooner than later. And so I've got a privilege escalation threat, and I want to drill down into that. And so a couple things that I see here. One, I get into a deeper level of detail where I can see the description, the recommended action, and I can click on the affected resources that could be subject to this particular type of threat. So my dev test cluster is the one that could be having an issue in the future. And the cool part about this is, Hen, did I do all this myself?
No, so we're definitely taking advantage of a managed service powered by Security Command Center. So you get all the expertise from the entire Google Cloud and Google team.
So think of this as a managed service where our Security Command Center is already understanding all the different threats and vulnerabilities that are out there and want to help you understand which of your resources could be at risk. Now, one thing that I neglected to mention as we move into the second type of security posture feature, our compliance aspect, is that threat detection is really a reactive action, right? Something's already a problem and you want to fix it. Compliance is a proactive thing. So you want to understand some things that may be out of line with best practices, and we want to understand which of our resources could fall into that. Now, one thing that I should have also mentioned, Hen, in the beginning is that we're looking at an entire fleet. We're not looking at this one cluster at a time. So a fleet is like a superset of clusters, and we can look at our compliance across all of those different resources. So we can see, for example, how many non-compliant clusters I have or non-compliant resources, and I can come down to the compliance standards, and for example, I see that I'm 57% in compliance with the CIS-GK benchmark 1.5. Long story short, this is a benchmark that helps you proactively deploy your resources based on best practices. And so a couple things that I see here. One, I can look at different security standards if I want, or compliance standards. I've also got different clusters here. Now, what I'll notice is, or what you'll notice, RAID clusters are likely AI workloads. The dev test cluster is likely non-AI workloads. And so these security posture features work for AI and non-AI workloads together. And so if I want to drill down and understand where some of the particular issues are, again, very simple user interface to understand what's happening. I can drill down into the particular things. I get details, affected resources, and I can see exactly what's happening. So ladies and gentlemen, GK Security Posture shows you proactively what's happening, and this is a way to save you time as you're maximizing innovation and minimizing unintended consequences.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You know, and this demo was a great example of how you can make sure you secure both your AI and non-AI workloads together. And we see that as a critical request from our customers. They are bringing more and more of their workloads into GK. And now, I'm honored to invite one of our customers. Shopify is a prime example of one of the leading companies leveraging our container platforms to confidently deploy and secure their workloads. Farhan, please join me on stage. Thank you so much. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. So maybe, before we start, you introduce yourself so folks here will get to know you as well.
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Farhan. I run engineering at Shopify. That's the privilege of mine to actually manage the team. It's about 2,500 engineers around the world. If you don't know about Shopify, if you've ever bought anything online from an independent brand and it was a great experience, you likely were on Shopify. We're the brand behind the brand. And from a scale perspective, we had our merchants sell over $235 billion of GMV last year, so quite amazing to see our merchants grow. At Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which is the biggest time of year, we do about 60 million requests per minute, all on Google Cloud.
That's amazing. And we've been working together, and our teams have been working together for a few years. Can you tell us how you've been taking advantage of our container management platform?
Yeah, so we've been using GKE for a long time. And when we first moved over in 2018 from our data center into GKE, we just did like a lift and shift. And so everything was running on GKE. What was amazing about that experience was that during COVID in 2020, we noticed that as people went back into their houses, online sales went crazy. And I remember watching week to week, just seeing all the traffic, and I never heard anything from my infrastructure team. I was like, why isn't everybody scouring to do things? And our auto-scaling within the parameters of how we wanted to auto-scale actually just slowly ramped up over time without us not having to touch anything.
That's amazing.
So, pretty amazing.
Yeah, you told me that in the early days, SRE, which is Site Reliability Engineers, used to be Shopify Reliability
Correct,
Engineers.
yeah. That's our partnership with Google. They renamed the SREs at Google to Shopify Reliability Engineers while we were working together.
And maybe, about a year ago, I remember we were talking and we talked about velocity and effectiveness. And I've asked you about Cloud Run. And are you going to use it? You are now using it. What have changed your mind?
Yeah, so we really like to fine-tune everything we build. We're a big DIY company. We like to make sure that things work for what we call the core commerce loop. Everything in commerce, we want to tune it exactly. And what happened about a year ago is we started thinking about areas that we could get advantage of because we're not infrastructure people. We want to focus on commerce. So we decided to actually move all of our tier 2 and below services to Cloud Run in order to get that experience of it being automatically managed, scale up, scale down, and actually be more efficient. So what we did was we started moving those over, and what we noticed from our teams is that it wasn't just the tier 2 teams. It's starting to be the tier 1 teams who now are realizing that it's much easier to scale things there. So we have a combo of GKE where we tune it directly, and then we have a bunch of things on Cloud Run now that are like, just hands off for us to just run automatically.
Amazing. And you mentioned the term reducing waste. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when we talk to a lot of, when you talk to folks, and even I saw it up here, right, let's reduce cost. A lot of folks like to think of it as a cost reduction exercise, and what we think about it as is waste reduction. Because I want to make sure that when it makes sense, we will spend the money to have a great experience for our merchants. But when we are wasting resources, when we have lots of utilization available and it's not actually the right thing for the use case, we want to use the right tool. And so we realized by moving it to Cloud Run, that makes it much easier for us.
Amazing. I think it really resonates with me, that term. And going back to that 1 year ago when we were talking, there was one memorable moment for me. We were talking about Cloud Run, and you said, I like to be open-minded. I like to experiment and learn. Let's have the team try it out. Can you tell a little bit about, that culture and how we are helping you?
Yeah, and so a big part of that is actually that we're a learning organization. It's really hard. I mean, this sounds funny maybe. I can't really learn from reading blog posts and talking to customers. I have to try it. And so for us, that means like we just have to try Cloud Run. And part of it was our team to take a look and say, well, is this something that's going to work for us? We don't know. Let's try it. And what we realized is even with our scale, right, Shopify, massive scale, Cloud Run actually scaled up and scaled down much better than we thought, to the same point of like new teams now are saying, wow, if this works for that, maybe it'll work for this. And if that works for if this works for my team, maybe I can free up engineers to work on commerce, not on infrastructure.
Awesome. So, of course, I can't let you go without us talking about AI. Can you tell us a little bit about your AI journey?
Yeah, so obviously we're building AI examples for merchants, buyers, and our employees. And we want to make sure that we allow everyone to experiment. And so we used to have an internal tool, it was called Merlin, that we were trying to bespoke build a way for our engineers to take advantage of AI capability. And we luckily deleted all that code, removed everything, and actually just standardized on Vertex. Right? And Vertex now allows us to use not only models that are already in the Google Model Garden, but also like Hugging Face models and open source. And so it didn't reduce the surface area of what we needed to do. And then, of course, if we wanted to nerd out and use GPUs directly, we just go right onto GKE.
That's great. I really think that within GCP, that optionality and choice is really a design principle for the entire platform. OK, so what's next?
Well, we're always thinking about the next things for our merchants. We're a merchant-obsessed company. And so there's 3 big things that we're thinking about this year. The first is reliability. We want to make sure, like, if Shopify's not up, nothing happens, commerce doesn't flow. And so for us, that looks like a simple architecture that we can reason about, which is now looking like a combination of GKE for the core commerce loop and everything else on Cloud Run, self-serve from our engineers. Number two, performance. We want to make sure that things are running super fast. And to be honest, the first things people think about when they think about Cloud Run is like, will it work and is it fast? Right? And we proved that it is for our use cases. And so we're able to scale up and scale down within the parameters that we have. So not just run out and, and go crazy. It's actually within our parameters. And then lastly is growing internationally. We want to make sure that actually we can scale all over the world. Our buyers, our merchants are everywhere, and we want to make that super easy. And again, all of it on Google Cloud.
Awesome. We're honored to be on that journey with you guys. Thank you so much
Thank you
for joining me. Both that know me know that I'm passionate about experiments and learning, and that's really one of the things that I would love for all of you to take away from the conversation with Farhan is about the importance of learning and experimenting quickly, because the painful truth is that we are not excellent at predicting the future. And for that, we really need to create systems and platforms that allows everybody to learn, especially with AI, which is a super fast-moving space. And we expect requirements will change and new capabilities will be available. And that's why flexibility and choice for our customers is a key value proposition in GCP. So no matter whether you start, whether your model is on GKE or Vertex or both, or you're running your application on Cloud Run on GKE, there is no one-way door decisions. That means that you can always go back and try new things. And we are here to support your journey with ease of use, addressing the unique requirements of AI workloads, and making sure it fits all together with the rest of the workloads. We are investing in making things easy, much more easy, with new launches like Application Canvas and Gemini Cloud Assist. We are addressing some of those unique requirements for AI workloads like scale and price performance across the GCP stack. And last, we know that this is yet another modern workload, so we don't forget about all the rest. And we improve the security posture for all of your workloads consistently. I really hope my excitement comes through. It's not every day there is such an amazing transformation happening in our industry, and we can all contribute to that success. And with new capabilities come new possibilities. We are honored to partner with all of you on this journey, and we can't wait to see what we can build together. Thank you so much for joining me.